This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of June 17th, 2024. We have really complex blends of energies this week, leading us into the next big turn of the calendar wheel, the solstice, which happens on June 20th when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. And a lot that happens before that reminds me of an experience I had when I was taking a course in physical anthropology in undergraduate school. My perception of people shifted throughout the course a couple of different times and ways. I went through a spell where I would look at people and I would just see their skulls because we were so focused on studying skulls. And then I went through a phase that fits now, where I would look at someone and I would see them as a child. I'd see their baby pictures. I'd see toddler pictures. I'd see what they were like in grade school. And that kind of perception is active this week as we are moving more and more and more into emphasis in the sign of Cancer, the sign that's ruled by the moon. It involves mommy, nurturing, home, family, security, food as love language. And this kicks the week off on the 17th when Venus moves into Cancer. Venus in this sign turns our relationships, all of our social interactions toward nurturing, to caretaking, tending, plucking, bringing food, being possibly a little bit overly sensitive, maybe a little pissy. We're all kind of moving into Queen of Cups territory. Now, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves into this sign shortly afterwards. So we get a double dose of non-rational, tender, highly sensitive, maybe kind of prickly vibes in both our socializing and in our communicating. You may want to keep tissues around because you could be tearing up watching movies or shows, hearing something in a song, being overcome with nostalgia, the way we were, and thinking a lot about childhood. Now, as Mercury is making this shift, he picks up that nostalgia and bittersweetness and sentimentality and perhaps fantastical thinking as he squares Neptune on his way out of the sign of Gemini and as he slides into Cancer. Keep in mind, Neptune is sitting at the very last degree of the zodiac. He's a gatekeeper of the exit door. Every time a planet changes signs, his last job on the way out is to do something with Neptune, which could involve some dissolving or some pumping up of illusion. So Mercury comes into Cancer already really heightened, really sensitized to all of those touchy-feely, non-rational impulses that come with Cancer. And then Mercury and Venus meet. So the beginning of the week is really raw. You might look at it as a homeopathic dose of home, family, mommy, toddler, nurturing, nesting, emotionally laden, everything. Our thoughts, our communications, our relationships immediately butt up against Pluto, which is the gatekeeper at the other sign of the doorway, the planet that is at the earliest degree of a sign, the planet that everybody has to deal with on the way into a sign. So Pluto's kind of like the cosmic bouncer right now. Adjustments are necessary in our thinking and who we talk to, in who we look for nurturing, how we express nurturing, and probably there is a factor that has something to do with, first off, technology, and secondly, the new way of being that we are evolving into with Pluto in Aquarius, which takes us to the solstice on the 20th. And right before the sun moves into the sign of Cancer, what does he do? I gave you a clue earlier. He squares Neptune. The sun has this confrontational moment. Nostalgia, sentimentality, compassion, otherworldly thinking, fantastical thinking, gaslighting could be a part of it. And then And then pumped up, maybe with a little glitter and some elements of self a little bit dissolved, the sun moves into Cancer, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, starting summer, the shortest day of the year in the Southern Hemisphere, starting winter. And then this heightened, somehow adjusted and refocused emotionality and tenderness and awareness of home and family and security color the next 3 months, because the solstice chart sets a background program in place that will go on at least until the equinox in September. And as this new season begins, there is an opportunity, there are openings to walk our talk, to take action that implements our feelings for each other. Mercury is sextile Mars in Taurus. It sounds trite, but it's important that both of these signs, Cancer and Taurus, focus on food as love language. So who knows? Maybe there's an epidemic of people running around sharing baked goodies with each other or some other form of comfort food. And this is the lead-in for the next full moon, which is in Capricorn at 1 degree Capricorn. And this starts a 2-step process of evaluating how emotionally secure we feel, whether our goals and foundational institutions are giving us the support we need. And the reason I say 2-step process is that there's another Capricorn full moon coming next month at the very last degree of the sign. So now we have a first phase of awareness and maybe some releasing, and then another phase that has a much more of a cleanup feel to it next month. And at the weekend, we're back to the notion of adjustment. The sun makes an inconjunct to Pluto, the bouncer, at the entrance door, and we have to change some part of how we're looking at ourselves, how we're presenting ourselves to the world. There's something in us that is up for psychic surgery to adapt for the changing conditions that are evolving. This week is really complex, really complicated. I will not be surprised if there's a run on either chocolate or ice cream. And hey, no judgment if that's what happens. Homing thought of the week. Focus on the children. Song of the week, I've got 2. Try a Little Tenderness by Percy Sledge and That Summer Feeling by Jonathan Richman. And the image of the week is being tucked in with a teddy bear. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the Capricorn full moon, which is at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and get a Jupiter and Gemini quick reference guide to download as a thank you for subscribing, and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. On the solstice itself, I am talking about the realities of book publishing at 7 p.m. Eastern at the Boonton Holmes Public Library in Boonton, New Jersey. The town has a lot of really wonderful, good food. It's a terrific place, and if you're in northern New Jersey, I invite you to come out and say hey. Also this week, my show, Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV, which airs on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern, features one of my pals and a popular recurring guest, Donna Woodwell, who joins me for an episode we're calling It's Showtime. And we look at movies and TV shows that feature astrology and other magical things. I have a lot of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, including a more detailed look at the solstice chart, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.